Hello, witches. So we're on our back to basics witchery here. I just had a little accident with the vinegar, so I've changed my top. And we are going to continue on. So we spoke about a little bit about the tools witches use in their everyday practice. And I wanted to go a little bit through one more tool that we use. I don't think I really touched on it, if I made any comment of it at all, is that a lot of witches, and I don't want to say every witch, sorry, let me just find my page, not every witch, but most witches do have altars in their practice. Like we spoke about with the elemental witches, they're usually for one specific element. It can be for one specific goddess, or one specific god, or one specific pair. Excuse me. They can be as large as you want, as small as you want. They can be as inconspicuous or as conspicuous as you want. They can be travel altars if you need to. I've spoken multiple times that I have one in my bag that I take to work or wherever I go. Mind you, I work where I work. I usually work with another person, so I don't use it then, but if, say, I'm by myself and I feel like, I need that, like, little bit of extra, I do bring it out. It can be indoor, outdoor, or both. I've always had an indoor one, just because, first off, I lived with my parents, and second off, I live in this apartment. I live in a basement apartment, so yes, I do get a share of the yard, but I do have to share the yard. So what that means is that, I don't necessarily, I can't necessarily, have an altar there. But I do have my herbs there, which is even better at this point. I will also like to stress, there is no right way to set up your altar. Do what feels right to you. If, you don't want an athame, you don't want a wand, that's up to you. If you want to direct energy with your finger, go right ahead. If you can't have actual candles, use the battery operated ones. If you don't want any candles, that's up to you as well. If you want as many candles as you want, go right ahead. If you don't want to show the elements and just want it as a working altar, that's up to you. Like I said, so there is no way to rightfully set up an altar, but I will show you how I do mine and the way it's set up. Mind you, I've taken it down, so I'm going to show you literally put it up and put it back down again, as we are currently packing up things, and I am switching over where I keep, not only where I keep, but what I keep my altar in. It's a cup, it's usually in this, you see this over here, it's definitely taken down. It is also broken, it got broken in the move, so we're going to set it up, and then at some point soon I've got to take it back down in order to reset in a different apartment. But I will show you how it works, how I set up mine anyway. And like I said, it's no right way, but I can give you a guideline, and if this is how you like to set up yours, you're more than welcome to follow along. If this does not resonate with you in any way, shape, or form, don't bother. Just, look it up online. Like I've done many a times, and I've just ended up with what works. So I'll speak a bit more about it before I show you, but usually I have a goddess side and a god side, and then I have the elements kind of situated around, and then I have two different working spots on my altar, and that's usually only if I have space. This one has lots of lovely space. One that I was using before was just this round little table. It had only small working area, and so I couldn't have a few of the things that I wanted. I tend to keep my wand or athame on there. If it's a smaller one, you may have to keep it away and then use it only when you require it. Or, like I said, you can direct energy with your finger. It is all up to you. Or if you prefer a staff as well. I do usually keep my chalice and my cauldron on there. Now, my cauldron is going to be a bit different than the one I use. The one I use needs a bit of love and care. I need to, it got a little rusted, so I need to kind of work with it, but I can show you the other one that I do work with sometimes if I'm traveling about, because it's a little lighter. So let's get on to that. Okay, so let's get started. So first, if I can find it again, I use my spray, which I will show you how to make. Now this is my older spray, so I will use it. Now I've already made the other spray, but like I said, this is almost out, so I like to have two on hand. So I'm just going to spray it down and focus my intentions on it, cleansing, protection, that sort of thing. And then I'm just going to wipe it down with a microfiber cloth. You can get these at the dollar store if you don't already own them in your house. So I'm just going to spray like that, and then give it a good wipe. Now you don't have to do this. This is just what I do, especially when I'm setting it up, say for another Sabbath or anything like that. I just wipe it down a little bit. Also, this one, like I said, removing, so this has got to go into a dew place, so it might as well be wiped down there. So my next thing, a couple of my things are very sentimental things. My grandmother and my grandfather on my mother's side passed away, and they gave me a few things. Now I have a few things from my grandmother on my father's side as well, which I will be using, but those are special to me. So I start with this. It is a scarf, full scarf, very long, and I do it to kind of cover up the sides because it is just a plastic container. So I'm going to try to center that as best as I can to cover both sides of my altar there, like that. And then my next thing is this lovely scarf, which again is from one of my grandmothers. Quite large. I love it. And I put it kind of diagonally because I like the way the pattern goes better than that, and it hides the front of this little plastic thing very well. So I'm just going to put that around, and it kind of hides the fact that this drawer doesn't fully go in there. Like that. And then I have two different things. I'm going to use, I usually use this is my working cloth because I don't want to get this all dirty. It just looks like this. It's got the triquetra on it. It's purple. I love it. But more for those thrifty, you don't want to spend much people. I don't think I actually bought that for much, but this thing I bought, it's just a table cover, and again I'll put it on diagonally, so that it's more of a diamond shape. And this I just bought at the Dollar Tree, and I put these candles on either side, just kind of where the dent kind of is there, so that it's not kind of as least tipped as it can. And you'll notice the candle holders, because if you've been with me through either it was my Yule or my Samhain one, you'll notice the candle holders. I did make those during there. I have another video about candle type of things. And then I put in the middle there, I put this dish. This dish I got at the Antique Mall where I live, just up the 400 in Innisfil there, and I put that just directly in the middle there, just kind of against the wall, because the only thing I'm going to put on it is this. And now this I bought for like $13 at HomeSense, I believe, which is actually a really good price. You can find a lot of good priced items at thrift stores, antique malls, or anything like that. I found a few of my really nice crystals there. But I'm just going to put that directly in the middle of this dish. And that's the back of it there. And then I will put my chalice for water just over in this corner here. Again, something that I grabbed from that I really liked. It was only about $4 at the Antique Mall there. Here is my working plate here. So I don't really have much room else for anything else. But I do keep this Himalayan salt candle holder there. And I just put it to the side over here wherever it fits. So I'm just going to move a little bit. And that's all I really do. Now if I'm working on something, I tend to put my elements on the plate. So I will put, a small bowl here for water, up here a little bit for a little bit of salt for earth, and then over the side here I'll put incense or something that reminds me of air, and then here, down here, fire, and then I work kind of in the middle there. Or if I don't feel the need to, I just kind of work on the entire plate. That's how I set mine up. But I can give you a better kind of picture of how it usually is set up. If you have a larger area, you can set it up kind of like this as well. So there's your goddess side, your god side, and your working side, and then your chalice and your cauldron could be there. Your water, earth, salt, or something for air or fire. Your wand or athame can be there, or if there is space, your working area can also be down here. Just depends on what you're doing. Up here in the corner, or on this side, for me, where that crystal is right there, that's where I do a lot of my charging my crystals, charging my sprays, things like that. Down a little further is where I do my actual working, like this working plate. Or if I just am doing a spell that doesn't require it, I can take this off, shift everything around, and use the elements to my advantage. And like I said, it is all up to you. You can do whatever you want. There is no right way. There's no right way to light candles. I do it with, usually I find, usually a longer match or a long, like, barbecue lighter is best for me. Especially to get into these tumblers here, because they're a little far down. They're a little dark as well. You can tell I've used them. You don't have to have the hurricane candles there. You can have just regular taper candles. I've got a few of those. I grabbed a few silver and gold ones actually during Christmas, so I do have both options. Like I said, your altar's expression of you and your relationship to the god or goddess or whatever that you are worshiping or practicing with, and it all depends on what you feel like. If you don't want the gold candle there or the silver candle there, that is up to you. If you don't even want the chalice there, it is all up to you. But here is usually what I work with, especially if I'm working a spell, I tend to prefer the herbs and stuff on one plate. You can see it's all messy and things like that, remnants of past spells. And I just got that plate at the dollar store, so I mean, there's many things that can be done cheaply, that can be done within a budget. You don't even have to use a budget if you already have things on hand. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Blessed be, and keep crafting, witches.